Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Rutherford, and I'm a graduate student in the English department at Appalachian State University. I'm thrilled to be able to share my research with you today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. As you can see, my research focuses on the intersection of social justice and writing across the curriculum, or WAC programs. Let me go ahead and get this set up. So a couple of quick disclaimers. First, this field is relatively limited in the scholarship that I reference. So there may be things that are more teaching generally related than just WAC, and also all articles will be referenced on the screen. So around 50 years ago, as college education was becoming increasingly mainstreamed, but the confidence in the writers it was producing was dwindling, WAC programs were born. The objective, teaching writing about writing. Since their inception, WAC programs have continued to grow across the country. Today, as many social justice issues take the spotlight, from Black Lives Matter to Pride, I found it imperative to assess the bridge between social justice and WAC. One article that I studied asserted that social justice is important and fitting to WAC curricula, yet offered few suggestions on how to incorporate it, despite instructors' apparent passion for it. Thus, my examination seemed all the more fitting and important. Unfortunately, the publications linking WAC and social justice topics are much more limited than I thought. For example, there were few articles found linking WAC and LGBTQIA plus community issues. So instead, I looked at other social justice issues, including race. What I found was a small body of scholarship linking race and WAC studies. Some of these articles brought with them commentary on the use of African-American vernacular English in the classroom, which also prompted me to look at language and its acquisition in relation to WAC. Ultimately, my research could be divided into three categories: the use and acquisition of language in the WAC classroom, critical race theory, and a combination of both of these subfields. Language-based scholarship primarily centers around English as a second language, or L2 learners, though it may also deal with the implications of vernaculars and dialects outside of the standard American English, while critical race examines the impact of race in the classroom. Now, turning my attention to scholarship on language, unfortunately, L2 learners are often not supported in university classrooms. Professors often expect more English skills than they bring into the classroom, and they don't think teaching students language acquisition skills is their responsibility. This research is echoed in another paper, which finds that racial stereotyping directly impacts Asian students. The authors recommend fostering resistant composing and reading practices, making global and local connections, and encouraging non-judgmental discourse in order to combat this. Well, one article focuses on research and the other focuses on the classroom. Both of these articles offer suggestions regarding creating a hospitable WAC environment for L2 learners. Now, let's examine critical race theory, a timely approach in a country where a 22-year-old woman will make public statements suggesting apathy or even approval at the idea of a president of color being assassinated because he is Black. This racism permeates society so deeply that in Arizona, for example, they have proposed bills targeting Mexican Americans by emphasizing monolingual English speaking and banning ethnic studies in K-12 schools, which would harm the foundational skills acquired in K-12 students who would then go into WAC programs. One way to combat racism is to reframe the way we teach it in WAC programs. One scholar, Maya Poe, suggests we do this by examining racist existence outside of the classroom by teaching about various contexts and working through our own perceptions of stereotypes as instructors. Now, before I move on to discussing the intersection of race and language, I would like to acknowledge and define white privilege. Please understand that the assertion of white privilege is not that you've had an easy life because you're white, but simply that your skin color doesn't make it more difficult. While white privilege leads to white language supremacy, or the idea that unaccented standard American English is to be valued above various dialects, including but not limited to African American vernacular English. White language supremacy is one of many reasons why one article found that white American students appear to automatically place more faith in their white professors, leading to these instructors having unearned privileges in the classroom, such as students not questioning their competency. Additionally, another article written in the format of two instructors exchanging letters demonstrates the experiences of racism faced by a Black female academic, while simultaneously calling into question the reader's biases, as many of these letters were arguably written in African American vernacular English. Both of these articles demonstrate the interconnected nature of language and race, showing that there is more work to be done to create an equitable classroom environment for all students, especially minorities. In conclusion, this subfield at the intersection of WAC and social justice is still in its infancy. As educators, we can work to cultivate this field in its prime while simultaneously using the current research that is out there to better WAC spaces. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.